Bucknutters. Welcome into the Bucknuts Morning 5 on January 9th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle. I'm joined by the People's Champ, Matt Baxendell. Bax, we're just going to get right into your thoughts on the matchup with Oregon. I'm going to give my prediction in a minute. I already said earlier in the week, I think the Buckeyes are going to win this game. I'm going to give an exact score prediction later. Your thoughts on the matchup and your prediction for a final score, sir?
Yeah, we're definitely not doing 5 minutes today. I think the Buckeyes are the team to pick. And unlike you, sorry, Dave, I picked the Buckeyes to beat Alabama. Had to throw that in. My bad. But I love this matchup for Ohio State, even more than I would have liked to have played Florida State, for one simple reason. If you look at Oregon's defense, there's all this talk about how they have improved their recruiting, which they have. There's all this talk about how they're a tougher team. Look how many turnovers they force, all of which is true. But the bottom line still is that they give up more than almost 100 yards a game more than Alabama did. And Ohio State ran over that Alabama defense for 42 points. This Oregon defense, and while you can make an argument that they're on the field more because of their offense, which is true, they have more plays against than Alabama, but not nearly enough to justify a 100 total yard disparity difference. It's very difficult for me to imagine Ohio State being stopped with any frequency, and as long as they don't come out and do what they did in the first quarter against Alabama, which is force turnovers on themselves, then I think the Buckeyes are in a position where Oregon's going to be very hard-pressed to stop them. Some fun facts about Oregon this year when it comes to their defense. In the Pac-12, they were the second-rated scoring defense. They gave up 22 points a game, which is solid, but then you need to take that into account that it's the Pac-12, because in the Big Ten, 22 points a game where they were at would have been 6th overall in total in scoring defense in the Big Ten. So there's a little bit of a disparity in terms of how much yardage is given up based on style of play. Now, if you look at the teams that Oregon played in the entire season when it comes to total defense, they haven't played anyone. I mean, Florida State is not a top 25 total defense team. None of those guys are top 25 total defense teams. The best defense this year that Oregon has faced, if you go into the total defense statistics, you got to go down very far on the list. In fact, I have the list in front of me right now. Number 60, Utah, is the best defense that Oregon has played this year. They give up an average of almost 400 yards a game. Ohio State this year has beaten the number 2 total defense. They have beaten the number 4 total defense, the number 7 total defense, the number 8 total defense, the number 12 total defense. If you get what I'm getting to here at this point, there's a very giant difference in terms of the quality of defenses that Oregon State has faced this year versus the quality of defenses that Ohio State's offense has faced this year. I think the Buckeyes are going to win this game because I don't think Oregon's going to be able to stop them, whereas I do think the Buckeyes are going to be in a position to force some stops on Marcus Mariota. It's not going to be a 26-17 Rose Bowl like we saw 5 years ago, but it's going to be a game where the Buckeyes defense is going to make some plays, and that's why I'm picking Ohio State to become the national champions.
The spread is down to 6 points, opened at 7.5, went down to 7, went down to 6.5. I just checked this morning, it's down to 6. I love this. I love the Buckeyes are in the underdog role, and I like that the money's going toward Ohio State because, you know, you have some smart people out there that maybe know some things. I like to think that you are one of those people. I like to think that I am one of those people. My prediction is 45-36 Ohio State, so I like them to not just cover, but cover by 15 points. I just feel good about this. A lot of the things that you illustrated, Bax. This is an Ohio State team. If you just look at their offense, they're not just an explosive offense. They're so multifaceted. They can hurt you with the run. They can hurt you with the pass. They can hurt you in different ways with the run. They can hurt you in different ways with the pass. They now have a quarterback who's picking up steam, not just as a passer. Everybody knows about 12 Gage's strong arm, but he showed in the Alabama game he can do damage as a runner, which we didn't see that in the Wisconsin game. And I said that going into the Alabama game, that's something that he would have to do if Ohio State was going to win that game, and he was able to do that in spades. So
no more
very multifaceted offense for Ohio State, and explosive, puts up points, puts up yards, and Oregon's defense, 84th in the country in total defense, 108th in the country in passing defense. They really lack some players in that secondary. They only had one returning starter in their secondary. And he's out for this game, was out for the Florida State game as well, their top corner with a season-ending knee injury. So, very green secondary out there. And you look at Ohio State. Not only does Ohio State have, an explosive, excellent offense, one of the top, 5 or 10 offenses in the country. Ohio State is solid, at least solid defensively. Better than that. They're peaking at the right time. I love Ohio State's defense, how they're playing their best football right now. This Oregon defense is nothing to scoff at. It's better than what they've had, but still, they have holes in their passing defense especially. That's why I like Ohio State 45-36. Bax, I know you like Ohio State to win this game. You're predicting Ohio State to win. Give me an exact score. Again, I have 45-36. What's your exact score?
I'm going to go with 48-39, and here's why. Very simple. I feel like every time Ohio State plays against a team this year that they have been picked to be beaten in that has a pulse, because Wisconsin's its own different story. Michigan State was 49-37, and the Alabama game, 42-35. It was a 40-something to 30-something score. And frankly, I'm not so sure, and I know Oregon beat Michigan State earlier this year, but I don't think Oregon is a better team than Alabama. And I think Michigan State was in a golden position to beat Oregon at Oregon, and Marcus Mariota's feet bailed them out. So that kind of comes me back to my original thought process of, say, 48 for the Buckeyes and 39 for the Ducks, because they love the stinking two-point conversions, and I'm sure they'll get at least one of them on us.
Very interesting. We're both picking 9-point victories for the Buckeyes, even though they're a 6-point dog. Again, Urban Meyer, a 5-0 record as an underdog during his 3-year tenure at Ohio State. And if he can make it 6-0, we're going to be celebrating in the streets in Dallas. And speaking of which, tomorrow in Dallas, we will be covering Media Day, Ohio State and Oregon. That'll be from 11 a.m. Until 12:30 p.m. We're going to have everybody available for the Ohio State football team. All, head coach Urban Meyer, all the assistant coaches, all the players. So we're going to have wall-to-wall coverage for you on Bucknuts on Saturday from Media Day. Steve Hellwagon and I will be down there covering it. And then, worlds colliding. There is a notable basketball game tomorrow as well. Ohio State plays at Indiana, which is, of course, in my opinion, Ohio State's biggest rival on the hard court. So at Indiana, Saturday, noon, games on ESPN. Ohio State ranked 22nd in the country. They're 13-3, 2-1 in the Big Ten. Indiana is 11-4, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Hopefully Ohio State can get some damage done against Tom Crean and move to 3-1 in the league and stay ranked. One more note out there. Try our 1 month, get 2 months free. Buy 1 month for just $9.95. Get 2 months free. And if we were doing this over the summertime, it would be a good deal. Doing it right now is an unbelievable deal. You get, obviously, through the national championship game if you do this deal. You get through National Signing Day next month, February 4th. It even takes you pretty much all the way through spring football, through March and April. So buy 1 month for $9.95, get 2 months free. Get on our site and do that. Thanks again to the People's Champ, Matt Baxendell. He always comes strong. Thank you to all the listeners out there. I hope you have a great weekend. Take it away, best damn band in the land.